For those just joining in, welcome, and I wish you and welcome you a wonderful class today. Just let's take some breaths here. Sip it in, fill belly. So if you're not in that seated pose, go ahead and make your way and lift the flesh off of your sit bones. And I'm propped up on a soft block. You can use your blanket bolster and just begin to feel the downward pull of gravity as it shifts energy down towards the supports, our sits bones root, feeling the points of contact of the shins, the ankles, and the palms can rest facing skyward on the thighs or the knees. And if you're just joining us, I've invited you to bring your bolsters, blocks, blankets, bedside pillows, anything to support you in your practice. We will finish with a restorative couple of poses where we want to have our hips higher than our navel. So having that ready. Dim the eyes, grow heavy into the support of the earth. And on our first inhalation, as we draw the breath in from the belly, expanding the ribs left and right like the horizon, let that breath move up through the collarbones and draw the shoulders up to ears. As you exhale, open mouth, full exhalation. Sip it in, draw that breath in. Shoulders to ears. And let it go. Let the palms face downward onto the knees. Sip in the breath, draw it in long and steady. Exhale it out. Draw the chin towards the heart. As you take your next inhalation, sweep the chin over to the left side. With the fall of your exhalation, draw the chin down to heart center. Inhaling, sweeping to the right. Exhale, chin to heart. Syncing your breath with movement as we rise up. Inhaling over to the left. Exhaling, centering. Inhaling to the right. Giving mental cues to our body. How are we breathing today? Maybe this is the first time all day that you've actually brought awareness to the depth and the quality of your breath. There's no right, there's no wrong. This is your time to let it blossom, let it fill and become deep. As we know, it's a gradual process. Taking one more cycle of breath. And bringing it back to center as we inhale, stack the spine, allow the crown of the head to reach skyward, extending the spine skyward. Doing the box breath method, we're going to inhale for 4 counts, pause for 4, retaining that breath, and then exhaling for 4, pausing for 4, and then inhaling. So we're creating that square-like frame within our mind and bringing a rhythm to our breath. So we'll begin. Go ahead and take just one solid breath here. Audibly sigh it out. Inhale for 4. Pause. Exhale for 4. Pause. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. So I'd like you to find your rhythm, doing 4 more cycles of this breath. Sipping it in through the nose, cooling rise, gentle pause, and then an exhalation out through the nose. Bring awareness to the quality of the breath, the sound of the breath, and the ease of mind. Completing your last cycle. Returning to your Ujjayi breath, victorious breath. Allowing the ebb and flow of the rise of the breath, like the tide filling, filling, filling. How it seamlessly transitioned from the pause and flows down like the exhalation, like the tide receding back into the vastness of the sea. So there's that rhythm coming, flowing in and flowing out. And just begin to experience how your exhalation melts away any tension from the shoulders, draining it down through the biceps, the forearms, through the fingertips. When the mind wanders, we bring it back to the sound and the quality of breath, melting away any armor that we've built up on the physical body, mental body, and spiritual body. Any armor, begin to melt it away. Harmonizing and unifying our class with the sacred Om. As we inhale, bring in that sound vibration into the heart and the mind. And as we exhale, saying it the length of our breath. Beginning on your inhalation. Palms meet to heart center, bowing before our heart. Begin to make an offering of your class or set an intention, perhaps. Creating a free flow of energy through our practice today, knowing our body best, doing what serves our body every breath of the way. The palms of the hands begin to vigorously rub. So we're just creating that chi, that prana. So take the necessary deep sighs. As a child, and I live with 3 of them, often through the day I hear if there's any frustration happening, like this, are you serious? So have you done that today? Have you actually verbalized your frustrations or lacks of commitment or excitement? So I'm not in your space, but I'm welcoming you to let it go. Open the jaw, let it go. We often are putting ourselves in spaces and places bombarded by sensory, um, that in whether it be sound vibrations, cars, light, rain. And here we want to bring our senses inward. Yeah. So with the cups of the hands, place them over the eyes. Take a deep breath. Open mouth exhalation. With the four fingers of your hands, rake it from the middle of your forehead towards the temples. Do 3 strokes, just letting go. There's no past, no future, but only right now. So we're letting go any tension in the face. Begin to walk your fingers down through the jawline and then make your way underneath the cheekbone. And then in Chinese medicine, you're going to take your base of your palms underneath the cheeks here. And it's called a dry face wash. So in our face, there's a lot of nerve endings here. And just go ahead and dry face wash. And then walk the fingers to the jaw. And you're like thinking, what is this girl doing? This is what was not expecting this, but this is part of our healing process. Fingertips now rake from the back of the neck down towards the collarbones. Are we breathing? Checking in. Sync your breath with movement. And you'll hear me often reference that because here we're really activating and strengthening the process of our breath. With the right palm, we're going to cup it over the lymph nodes down towards the arm and then meet it at the point between your thumb and your index finger. That's your gallbladder meridian. And let's do that again. Same side, down the arm to that point. And then the other side to the point. One more time. And then rub the palms of your hands, placing them behind your kidneys. So over the kidneys, one deep breath. Exhale it out. And go ahead and rub those kidneys, circling in one direction. And palms meet to heart center. Inhale deeply. Open mouth exhalation. Does your face feel numb? Mine does. So we're going to do Agni Sar, the fire breath. So the thumbs are going to just reside at the heart center, and you're going to inhale and exhale through the nose, and then we're going to rotate back and forth. So you're stimulating. Now, if you feel better without that support on the lower half of your body, you can be flat on the ground. So in and out through the nose. Press the palms deeply into each other. And you're breaking up any tension in the rhomboids, in the backs of the ribs. The diaphragm is activated here. And slow it down. Come back to center. Inhale, arms reach skyward. As you exhale, cactus your elbows down. Bend the elbows down towards the ribs and then press left and right like you're pushing the walls away from you. Let all 10 fingers reach down towards the earth, curl into fists, and then reach the fingertips up high. Reach for the sky. And then exhale again, open mouth. Maybe you throw that head back. Palms reach left and right. All 10 fingers reach down and curl and reach them up. Inhaling as the palms meet skyward. Exhale, cactus once again. Press the palms out. We're going to rotate over to the left. Prop your left hand behind you as you inhale. Open up the heart. As you exhale, navel into spine. Round the torso. Your chin comes towards the heart. Sync your breath with movement. Inhale, create that space. Make it dynamic. Exhale, round. One more breath here. So you're making your movement, your shape, synced up with your breath, and it may look different than mine. Inhale as the right arm comes skyward, left arm reaches up. Reach all 10 fingers brightly skyward, extending in a wide V. Open mouth exhalation. Draw the shoulder blades down. Again, inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, shoulders down. Cactus your elbows down, reach them out, and we're going to rotate over to the right side. Inhale as you prop your right fingertips behind you. Get tall, open up the neck. As you exhale, navel to spine, you're rotating and deepening that curl, that curvature in the lower back and the shoulders. Inhale as you open up the front body, gaze skyward. Exhale, round, tuck your chin to heart. Really feel that stretch between the rhomboids, maybe even to the lower back, even into the hips. Sink it one more time. Inhale, open up. And exhale, round. As I grow tall, left arm reaches up. Get into that wide expansion of the arms. As you exhale, draw the shoulder blades down. So those lat muscles move down. So it's just a subtle traction of the shoulder, reaching up and then drawing down. And we're going to release the palms behind us. Fingertips are going to face forward here. So go ahead and bend the knees. We're coming into a dynamic inverted table. So if this is too strenuous, I'm going to give you a variation, but I'll just demonstrate here. So palms underneath the shoulders, fingertips face forward. As I inhale, hips come up, drawing my navel towards the sky, squeezing the glutes and the thighs. As I exhale, come back to Dandasana, your staff pose. The variation would be here, leaning and then extension. Yeah, do what feels righteous in your body. So you have this option, and you're going to sync it with your breath. Inhaling, nice long spine each direction. If you want to add on, the knees are going to come up, leveling out the hips and the knees, and then drawing straight in Dandasana. Let's do 5 sets. Inhale up. Exhale, curl that navel into spine as you straighten up. Inhale. Exhale. And again, you have that variation to add on. If you're in this inverted table and the wrists are stressed, you can make fists with your hands. So you have options. And we're breaking up tension in the shoulders. After your last one, stay in Dandasana. So active, the palms pressing into the earth. Inner thighs are magnetized towards one another. The feet are flexed in Suryapada, toes outstretched, heels flexed. Smooth out with breath. Good. Let the arms extend forward and then traction your arms forward and then back. Forward and back. Open the arms out wide. Good. So visualize that you have a wall behind you. Now, for a lot of us, our hamstrings, or excuse me, our psoas muscles are tight. Our hips are tight, so you can even bend your knees here. 3 breaths. And if the lower back is hurting, you can also be propped up with a block. So it's dynamic. It's also very strengthening. So from here, we're going to lower down. The arms are going to come back in front of us, bending the knees if you need to at any point. We're going to lower down, activating the midline of my body, squeezing the inner thighs, and you're going to lower down onto your back. Arms come overhead. As we exhale, we're going to walk our feet over to the left corner of our mat and side bend into a crescent moon shape. Take a breath here. Audibly side out. Inhaling center. Get long. As you exhale, walk the feet over to the right corner of your mat and side bend. Inhale, centering. Bending the knees if you need to, or simply drawing the arms up and then alongside the thighs. So you're activating the core. At any point, you can hold in the thighs. We're going to roll up, navel into spine, fold forward, and then grow tall. Exhaling, lowering down. Midline of the body active. Arms come overhead. Side bend to the left. Inhaling center. Exhale to the right. Centering. Coming up. You can bend the knees if you need to. Folding forward and rise tall. Palms meet to heart center. Bend the knees here. So we're going to come into Navasana, balancing bow pose. Flex your heels. So you can stay here with the feet just levitating inches off the earth, and the hands can come alongside the earth by the hips. If you want to add on, take the shins parallel with the earth, arms alongside the body. And if you want to add on further, arms come up, legs come into that V. Release a gentle smile. And slowly, soles of the feet meet. Baddha Konasana, round forward, reach your heart towards the soles of your feet. Take 3 breaths, sip it in. Open mouth exhalation. Once again, inhale. Exhale it out. One more breath. And drawing your chin towards the heart, stacking one vertebra at a time. Roll the shoulders up towards the ears and down towards the waist. Close the book of your legs, knees together. I'm going to roll over onto our hands and knees position here. And you can have those blocks close to you, or if you have any knee issues, if you're on a harder surface, you can double up your mat or fold up a blanket or your towel. So we're going to do a series of a slow flow, strengthening our core and warming up the hips and the shoulders simultaneously. And again, knowing your body best. Do what feels righteous, yeah? Every movement is yours. Make it yours. So we're in our hands and knees position, and spine is neutral. So the navel is just dipping down slightly, and there's a little curvature in the lower back. Energetically, our elbows rotate towards one another. The wrist lines are parallel with the front of the mat. And I'm going to press into the hearts of my palms. So all 10 fingers are active here. Shift your hips forward so your shoulders pass the wrist lines. And then as we exhale, big toes touch, knees are wide, sink back to child's pose. With your next inhalation, plant into the elbows and the forearms. We're going to graze the tip of the nose until we pass the fingertips, and then drop your navel, push up so the shoulders are aligned with your wrist lines. You're in your cow pose. As you exhale, shift your hips forward. This time we're going to add a rounding of the spine. Curl and round into a cat. Then sink your hips back towards the heels. Like a wave, we're going to sweep forward. Graze the tip of your nose. Press into the palms. Drop your navel. Reach your gaze skyward. Shift your hips forward. Round as you sink back. Child's pose. Let's do 3 more. Inhale. Exhale, stay for your cow. Shift your hips forward, round and curl. Middle of the spine reaches for the sky. Sink your hips back. Inhale, graze the tip of your nose. Drop your navel, open up the throat. Shift your hips forward, and then round like a cat, chin towards the heart. Shift the hips back, child's pose. Inhale, last time. Round like a cat.
Curl the toes under. Reach your sits bones high. Plant into the hearts of your palms, aligning your ears with your biceps. And then on your next exhalation, drop your heels down. Stay for one more breath. Nod your head left and right. Bend the right knee. Bend your left knee. And just get any kinks out of the hips, the ribs, the shoulders, swaying left and right. Take a next inhalation. Come to the tips of your toes. The peak of your downward dog becomes stronger. The angle becomes smaller between the thighs and the belly. And then as you exhale, drop your heels down heavy. Come into breath. Let it be your guiding force. We're going to bend our knees about 3 inches off the earth. You can also lower them all the way down if you want. And then we're going to lower, shift our hips forward, drop your chin, heart, navel. Scoot your knees back as you come into small cobra. Exhale, release the heart. Curl back into downward dog or child's pose. From downward dog, come to the tips of your toes. Inhale deeply. Exhale, drop your heels. Lower the knees 3 inches. Drop them all the way down. Shift your shoulders forward. Elbows drop down. Chin, heart, navel. Flow into your cobra and release it down. Sink back, child's pose or downward dog. As you inhale, come to the tips of your toes. Reach your sit bone high. Exhale, drop your heels. Let's extend that right leg skyward. You're welcome to or not. And we're going to step it through. Drop your back knee. So you have front knee right over that right ankle. You can utilize your blocks or pillows, whatever you have handy. In your low lunge, get comfy. Let's allow the head to grow heavy as your shoulders dome over the heart. And if you feel inclined, begin to walk that left knee back towards the back of your mat. Open hips allows for open spine. So we're stretching into that left psoas, the right hamstring here. On our next inhalation, cup your fingertips. Inhale, lift the chest and the heart. Maybe the gaze comes skyward. As you exhale, round and deepen. Sync your breath with movement. Inhale, open up. Exhale, full. Inhale, open up chest. This time as we exhale, flex that right heel. You're going to shift your hips back. You can walk your blocks back for you for support. You can also catch your right glute if that feels righteous for you. The hands in front of you or alongside of you, wherever you're supporting that right knee. If you have any knee issues, you can come into a high lunge. So you have options. Take another 3 breaths here. Open mouth exhalation. Check in. Slowly transitioning as we come into that low lunge, bringing your props with you if you like. Low lunge. Inhale, open up the heart. As we exhale, plant the hands, curl the left toe under. Step the right foot back into your downward dog. Inhale into your plank or table's pose, lowering down. Inhale into your cobra or upward dog. Exhale, downward dog or child's pose. 3 breaths. Saturate body with breath. Bring stillness. So just as a tortoise withdraws his senses when he's needing for protection or looking and seeking protection,
Here in our asana practice, we are instilling the process of drawing senses in. And the breath allows us to harness focus. That is our drishti for now. Drishti is the focus. Upon your next inhalation, you're welcome to extend that left leg, reaching it skyward into your three-legged downward dog, or just carrying it through. Drop your back knee. Utilize your blocks for support if you need. Here, I invite you to drop your head heavy. Feel that stretch into the right psoas. Chin's slightly drawing towards the heart. Take 2 more breaths here, allowing for that full, complete breath. Next inhalation, cup the fingertips, open up the chest. Perhaps the heart propels you forward and the chin and the throat open up. As you exhale, drop the chin down and round. Syncing your breath of movement. Inhale, open up. Exhale as you round. Inhale, open up. Exhale as you round. You're welcome to stay here or come into that high lunge or add on as you flex that left heel, sinking your hips back. And maybe you don't come all the way back towards that back heel, and that's okay. We're getting that quad stretch here, that hamstring stretch, getting long in the torso. And if you feel inclined, let that left hip draw back towards the earth. Square up the hips and the ribs and the shoulders. Allow your breath to create space and create that shape in the asana. I sometimes visualize that the breath is, I guess, expanding from within and then allowing the outer limits of the skin to expand. And then when I exhale, it deflates and localizes in areas of tightness, areas of stagnation. Maybe you're experiencing pulsation, so you're opening up those lines of energy. Taking one more final cycle of breath here. And then your next inhalation, transitioning into that low lunge. Planting the palms down. Curl the right toes under. Step back into your downward dog. You can stay here. You can come into child's pose or flow into your vinyasa, into plank position or table's pose. Shifting forward, one strong unit, or dropping the knees if you need to, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward dog. So we're going to flow through that series of lunge just a little bit quicker. So as we inhale, right leg can reach up skyward. Welcome to step that right foot forward or drop the back knee to support you. As we inhale, we're going to add arms. So arms come up. Exhale as I round down into low lunge. Inhale, transitioning that hip back. Exhale as I singe forward. Inhale, transition into your low lunge. Curl the left toes under. Step the right foot back. Downward dog or child's pose. Inhale when you're ready into plank or table's pose. Hands and knees or push-up position. Shifting forward. Lowering down. Upward dog or cobra.
Downward dog or child's pose. 3 breaths. So fine tuning. I'm here as your guide and support, so do what feels right. At any point you need to come out of a pose or activate the pose, do so. We're going to extend that left leg skyward, reaching it up if you want. I invite you to drop that back knee if you need to. Carry that leg through into a low lunge here. As we take our inhalation, arms reach skyward, keeping that nice square hip here. Exhale, round the torso down. Inhale, lift the heart. Shift the hips back. Exhale, flex the heel. Inhale as we come forward. Curl the right toes under. Step it back. On our next inhalation, bend the knees, and you're welcome to step or hop through. So taking your time, you can walk heel to toe, or hands to feet, whatever you want, or one nice hop. Crown of the head's heavy. You're in your forward fold, hips distance apart, the feet rest and reside. Articulate the toes, your pinky, second, third, fourth, and your fifth. Plug into the big toes, the pinky, and the heels, and grow heavy with the head like a bowling ball dangling from the spine. As we take our next inhalation, bend the knees generously. If you have that prop, you can place your hands to the shins or in front of you. Flat back. Monkey pose as you exhale, round and sink. With your next inhalation, bend the knees. Take your time as you curl the spine one vertebra at a time, all the way up. Feel as though you've got a wall behind you and you're resituating one vertebra at a time against that wall. At the top of the extension of the spine, inhale, arms come up. As you exhale, release the palms down to heart center. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, Utkatasana chair pose. So you're in that imaginary seat. Extend your arms behind you like you're a skier. Drop the tailbone so you're engaging the lower back. You have a nice flat lower back here. Chin towards the heart, back of the neck long. We're getting ready for that snow in Tahoe. Sinking down low if you want. All 4 corners of the feet are planted into the earth. Maybe you're experiencing the shake. Inhale, keeping hips low, arms come up. Exhale, hands to heart. Feeling it together. We're going to rotate maybe over to the left. Bring it back to center and then over to the right. Inhale, arms come up and straighten legs. With a big exhalation, melt the arms around like a sphere of protection. So this is called gathering the clouds. Let your feet hips distance apart. As we inhale, we're going to bend our knees like you're gathering the earth, bringing it up slowly to the heart, and then exhaling it down. Reaching for that earth. And settling it down. Getting a little bit of our chi flowing here. What's the breath doing? And then bring the arms in front of you, palms face forward. Bend at the knee. Surrendering bear pose. So you're just going to shift over to the left. And shift over to the right. Wringing out the kidneys and the spleen here. And the liver and the stomach. Bring it back to center.
Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center. So we're going to take our right leg into the front of our mat and then the left leg to the back of the mat. And you might want to change your visual. So we have a wide stance here. We're just going to bend the elbows for a minute. And your toes can be slightly pigeon here. And we're just going to slowly rotate the hips. And we're unwinding the hips, the knees, shoulders. I mean, have you ever done hula hooping without smiling? This is kind of like the hula hoop, internal hula hoop. Now, if you're doing this with a friend, you can look at each other and say, this is crazy stuff. Okay, now reverse. Feel it unravel and spiraling out any tension locked up in the spine, the hips, and the shoulders. And we're going to bring some asana into here. Come back to center. Inhale, arms are bright, up like a X. As you exhale, interlace the fingers behind you. Maybe you can grab hold of your wrists. You can grab hold of your fingers or your elbows. Yeah. Take the gaze with the eyes skyward, feet slightly pigeon. And then if you need to bend the knees, you can slightly. And begin to fold forward in a wide-legged forward fold. Let your head grow heavy. Perhaps you want to let the arms come down. If you have those blocks handy, you can also utilize those for support. If you like the stretch in the shoulders, stay here. We're going to stay for 3 more breaths. Energetically, the tips of our sit bones are reaching, I should say, not reading, reaching skyward. You're feeling that stretch along the backs of the thighs, those hamstrings. Maybe you have to rub them. I haven't ran in so long, and I played soccer with a bunch of kids, my kids, and I'm feeling that along the quads and the hamstrings. So staying here, heavy, heavy head. If you need to bend those knees, do so. I'm just feeling the reversal of circulation into the heart, easing the work of the heart. If your arms aren't already down, go ahead and place the palms underneath your shoulders, bending at the elbows. Inhale, cup the fingertips, flat back, bulldog's pose. Exhale, releasing. Let your head grow heavy. Inhale when you're ready, halfway up. Exhale as you fold. Knowing that sensations come and go and they're passing. We're going to walk our hands in front of us if you feel comfortable in this position. And we're coming into a wide-legged downward dog. So the arms are going to walk forward, 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 aligning those ears with the biceps as much as you can. Again, you can bend the knees if that feels more supportive. You can also walk the feet closer together if that feels more supportive. Let's stay here for 3 breaths. Saturate body with breath from filling the backs of the legs. And as you exhale, let it soothe the spine and like a waterfall draw down towards the crown of the head. Get cyclical in your breath, that rhythm of your breath. Final exhalation. Slowly walk your hands right, left, until you're in that wide-legged stretch. Bend the knees generously, come halfway up. Exhale as you melt, and then we're going to curl the spine as you generously bend your knees. Let your navel come into spine, head heavy, letting the spine articulate 1 vertebra at a time. Shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale it out. Heel toe your feet together. Take a moment here in Tandasana, mountain pose. Begin to melt away any of the armor that we spoke about in the beginning of class. Let it drain out through the shoulders, trickling down the arms through the fingertips. Feel the support of the earth beneath you. The feet are like roots of a tree. And we're not a single tree, we're a set of oak trees settling in, nestling in our roots, nestling our roots and getting stronger and stronger by the support of the network of trees surrounding us. With the crown of the head beaming skyward like the peak of a mountain, untouched the mountain stands, immovable and unchangeable. Residing within that mountain is you, that spirit, that essence, giving life, untouched by the winds, immovable. It is said that the soul cannot be withered by the wind, burned by fire, cut into pieces, moistened by water. It remains. Slowly making your way to the front of your mat, moving through a series of standing poses, and then we're going to cool the body down. So, feet hips distance apart, the arms outstretched skyward. Upon your exhalation, fold forward, swan diving forward. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, melt. Right leg steps back. Plant that foot. So we're in our warrior one stance. Upon your exhalation, cactus your elbows and open up the throat. And maybe it's just energetically. Palms reach out, left and right. Rotate over to the left side. Left hand could come behind you. Right palm to the thigh. Upon your inhalation, rotate back to center. Warrior one. Open up to a T. Warrior two. Reach the ribs back and then forward. Release the top arm. Right arm comes over the ear. Side angle stretch. Take that top arm behind you towards the lower back and maybe just energetically begin to rotate the right ribs towards the sky. Upon your next inhalation, reverse that warrior. Left arm comes over the head. And then flowing forward. Low lunge. Drop that back knee if you'd like. You can step that left foot back into child's pose or step back into downward dog. Upon your inhalation, you can move into table's pose or your plank. And we're going to hold here. 1 minute plank, strengthening the core. You can also lower the knees past the hips behind you. Still strengthening the core. Breathe deeply. Shifting into your downward dog or child's pose. Right leg's going to reach forward. Drop your back heel. Planting into that front knee or front ankle. Bend at the right knee. Arms come up. Warrior one position. Cactus your elbows down. Press the palms out. Rotate over to your right. So it could be energetic. Your chest might be forward, and that's okay. But if you want to intensify, you begin to rotate. You can even curl to the left toes. Upon your next inhalation, rotate back to center. Arms come up. Open up to a T, warrior two. Get low. Peaceful warriors reaching back and forward. Melt that right arm to the thigh, left arm over the ear. Upon your next inhalation, release that left hand behind you and let the left ribs reach for the sky. Bending in that front knee, reverse warrior. Right arm comes over the head. And then cartwheeling the arms down. Step back, child's pose for everyone. Big toes touch. Sink your hips back. Round the shoulders over the heart. Let your forehead rest in connection with the earth supporting us. Begin to cool body with breath. Shoulders are soft. Release any tension in the deltoid muscles, the forearms through the wrists, the palms, and the fingertips. Feel the cascade of your breath flowing from the spine down to the crown of your head. Resetting. Upon your next inhalation, go and draw the arms behind you, reaching for the soles of your feet. Curling the spine one vertebra at a time, if this is supportive on your knees. Otherwise, you can release the knees. And we're all going to actually release the legs in front of us. So I'm going to show you options for, well, first let's go on to our back. Let's get horizontal. Have your props handy. And go ahead and lower your spine very gracefully and carefully. Place your left hand over the heart and right hand over the belly. Knees are bent. Expand the two-part lotus breath, breathing deeply into the right palm and then let it rise like a wave into the left. Drawing that left knee into your chest. And then the right knee. Interlace the fingers or find a clasp of the wrist. And you're going to shift left and right, massaging the full lumbar spine, maybe even all the way up towards the back of the heart. Feeling that also in the crease of the hip, and the creases of the legs. And then grabbing hold of the knees, you're going to begin to circle the knees and the hips out in one direction, massaging those joints, vital joints, bearing the weight. And then reverse it. Good. Extending that right leg all the way to the earth. Grab hold of the left knee with the right hand and spiral the spine over to the right side. Let the left arm cactus or extend out to a T parallel with the left shoulder. Stay for 2 breaths. Slowly centering that knee. As you take your exhalation, flex that heel, draw the chest and the chin towards that thigh, and then release it down. Take notice the pulsations of the energy running through that left foot. Right knee's going to come into the chest. Hug it in close. Grabbing hold with the left arm, extending the right arm. Begin to rotate and spiral your spine, and perhaps the gaze comes over to the right side. 2 breaths here. That right knee is going to slowly come back to center. Hug it in close as you take your exhalation. Flex the heels, draw your chin towards the thigh, and release it down. So you have the option of bending your knees and coming into your bridge pose, supported or not. So if you're not in that supported situation, your feet are hips distance, and begin to peel the spine off. If you have your bolster or block, place it underneath the sacrum, depending on your height. If you have a bolster or blanket, just find that sweet spot where your lower back and your sacrum are feeling completely supported. So it's a different stretch. One's more active than the other, obviously, if you don't have any support, but it's equally beneficial. The chin's drawing towards the midline of the heart, the chest. Draw your right shoulder and your left shoulder away. Now, if you're in a bolster, you're also welcome to extend the legs. And we'll stay here for 3 to 5 breaths. Full, complete breaths. Now, knowing that we are cooling the body and the mind, we are resetting the nervous system simply by bringing and welcoming breath into our practice, into our bodies. Allow your breath to be your focal point. Taking your final cycle of breath here. And if you have that support underneath you, go ahead and remove it, keeping the hips active and the glutes active. Begin to resituate one vertebra at a time down into the earth, allowing the tailbone to be the last to resituate onto the earth. If you need to draw those knees in, go ahead and draw the knees and thighs into the belly. Stay for a complete exhalation. And then go ahead and release that left leg down. And then the right. Drawing your right shoulder away from your ear and your left. Begin to squeeze the toes and the arches of your feet and release. Squeezing the calf muscles, the thighs, the knees, and release. Squeeze your glutes all the way down towards the calves and the feet, and release. Curling your fingers into gentle fists, and release. Squint the eyes, and let go. Feel the current of your breath flow freely, smoothing out any residual, unwanted pains or sensations. Let it be dispelled down into the support of the earth. The earth being a conduit, grounding down that which no longer serves the body, bringing focus to the heart center, the temple of the being, the chamber of the heart. finding peace and solitude. Goranga, 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 Nityananda, 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 Goranga, 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 that which gives life, Goranga, like the sun rising in the dense darkness, Goranga, 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 Goranga. Inhale deeply, bringing breath back to the body. Sip it in, sip it in. Open mouth exhalation. You're welcome to stay here or simply wake the body, wiggling the toes and the fingertips, trusting and honoring your practice. Nodding your head left, nodding it right. Outstretching your arms overhead. Sip in the breath, sip it in, sip it in. Exhale it out. And at your own time, drawing those knees into your chest. Hugging it in close. Slowly rolling to one side. Cradling your head in your arms. And reconnect with your intention, or connect with the person who you've made an offering of your class to. Send it out with breath. With the eyes dimly shut, gently make your way up to a comfortable seated pose. Let the hands meet to heart center, bowing our heads before the heart, closing with one sacred Goranga, the golden effulgent one, the 4 sacred syllables, Gor, Ra, Ang, Ga. Inhaling together. Honoring one another with love and respects. Much love. Namaste.
Thank you.